Sounded good.
There you go. Hey, it's our old open. It's our new open. All right, let's run that again. This is cool. I like this. You like this?
Yeah, looks pretty cool.
I don't know how much it costs to get the cast of Stomp to do that new opening, but it's.
I'm surprised it took time
cool.
off Broadway.
I know, right? Hey, welcome to the show. It's heading back to the window with Scott and Scott. Of course, I am your host, Scott Steen, lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
And together we do this every single day as we attempt to guide you in your journey as we all try to head back to the window. Zadwa, hey, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, man. That was it's kind of a box of chocolates every day. We don't know what opening we're gonna have. They're doing all kinds of new stuff for us, so it's kind of cool to check it out. T-Train in the house, unknown entity is here. D from Detroit, James Mounts. What's up, fellas? And or ladies, as a unknown entity by the very nature of the name, could be male or female. Hey, Scott, you ready for curling? It's time, buddy.
Looking forward to it. I know the U.S. in mixed lost a couple of wars that they lost to Czech Republic and who's the other one? France?
I lost to Canada.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Tough match to Canada. Yeah, it was.
Either way, they gave it a good run, but
Yep.
It was all for nothing. I saw the U.S. women lost to Canada last night, which it doesn't fully surprise me. And yeah, everything seems par for the course. What do you think?
Yep. I'm ready. I got my U.S. at 20-1, and I've got Sweden at 275. So yeah, we're doing okay. I think Great Britain going to be tough to beat. I'll probably be taking them in some match props as well.
Is that the team to beat?
Great Britain, yeah,
Yeah.
they're the favorites at least in the men's. Canada's going to be the favorites in the ladies. So
I truly never knew the Great Britain was good at curling, but okay.
Good curling, yeah, good curling team indeed. Bill McDonald in the house. What up, Bill? Brandon Kubas. Lots of NBA news. We'll talk a little bit about that. But first, Scott, how'd you do yesterday? How'd you end up?
Did pretty well. Had the Heat as my play of the day. That was pretty much a rocking chair. Besides that, I feel like everything that we talked about on the show basically won. So it was a pretty good day.
Did okay. Had a decent day. I had we had Middle Tennessee State, and they took their foot off the gas. Something they've been really good at not doing this season. They did it. They were up 19 with about 10 and change left, and just let UTSA just kind of work their way back in just enough to to screw us. So that's the way that went. But we did okay. We Eastern Illinois under. I'm off, Scott. They're dead to me. Trying to guess that team. They've started to stop playing defense again after playing pretty good defense for 3 straight games. And we did okay on the El Farmo as well. That was not a bad game for us. What are the books giving Missouri? Why are the books giving Missouri +8 today? Well,
I'm assuming because Missouri's not good.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say because they're terrible. Let me see. I don't even know about that matchup. Let me check that real quick. Renzo Brothers in the house. Thanks for the thing on the intro. We'll I think we'll use that. It's pretty damn cool.
They're playing on the road against Vandy for the record. Vandy's been playing better lately, so perhaps they're kind of buying into Vandy's recent success and Missouri being underwhelming. It does seem like a little bit too much to me. I feel like Vandy's a decent team. I don't know if they're really 8 points better. I kind of see a nail biter, which Vandy wins by about 5. So I probably would lean Missouri plus the points, but I'm not picking them to win.
No, I don't think you can do that. Mizzou hasn't been great on the road, just 3-5 against the number. They're good in conference, 7-2 against the spread in the SEC, and they're good against playing against teams with winning records, 6-1 covering the number. So they have been undervalued in the markets. To me, I like this Vandy team, but I don't think they're as good as I thought they were to start the season. They've kind of been shown a little bit in SEC play. For me, it's Mizzou or pass there.
I agree.
Skeeter, what do you say?
I think Vandy's going to win the game, but 8 seems too many.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Mizzou team that's really good at frustrating losses. They had a 1-point loss to Florida, a 1-point loss to Auburn, of course, and covered 6 of their last 7 there in SEC play. In fact, they've covered their last 6. The one they didn't cover was to Iowa State. So there you go. Mizzou 2 says Preston Burke. Cool. Did the USC line drop from 20 to 19?
Well, I saw that was your play today. I wasn't sure which angle you had on that one.
It was. I've got USC to cover over.
Okay.
Pacific. I've still got it at 19.5, which is what I capped it at.
Okay.
So there you go. I see in the house. Beans and cornbread. Show me some chow chow. Kansas really impacted me. Bad beat. Yeah, the Texas just wouldn't go away, man. Wouldn't go away. That's a
Well, we both like Texas to win. We just thought it was going to be a pretty serious letdown spot for Kansas.
Yep.
I can't even say it was a letdown spot. Texas just played well.
They did. We did think it was going to go under. We kind of missed on that, but other than that, yeah, we both like Texas there as well. So
we both liked Virginia. That worked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's take a look, Scott, and see. First of all, let's get it out of the way. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please do that. We I know guys in the comment section always give each other a hard time about we have this many viewers and only this many thumbs. So come on. If you're watching, give us the thumb. That's all I'm asking. And of course, there are consequences if you do not like and subscribe. Eric Bieniemy is going to be passed over yet again for another head coaching job. So 0 for 19, Scott. 0 for 19. 19 interviews, no jobs.
He's on his way.
Good God. Awful. Just awful.
I don't think I even interviewed that badly for jobs.
We have you and I have gotten the same number of head coaching jobs since Eric Bieniemy started interviewing as he has. So not good. Not solid at all. So let's take a look and find out what happened yesterday, Scott. The good news, the bad news, the winners, the whiners, the people that kind of took it in the shorts and the people that took it to the bank. Scott, let's find out who it is on today's edition of Call Them Cops, would you? All right, very good. Let me roll back here to my sheet, and we will get it started. Of course, in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns. Good God, this game just makes me sick to my stomach even to talk about it. Suns minus 6.5 against the Bulls. Levine did play for 45.5 minutes. Didn't really matter. Suns were up by 17 with 2:27 left. Never say die, Bulls. Bulls ended the game on a 16-2 run and ended up losing by 3. Holy shit. If you had the Suns minus 6.5, pick up your cell phone and call the cops.
And looking at another bad beat in the NBA, if you had the Knicks plus 7.5 against the Jazz, they led by 4 going into the fourth quarter, then got outscored 31-18 in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks lost by 9.
All right, turning to the college ranks. If you had Chattanooga Mercer under 136.5, 124 in regulation. Checking for an even number. Absolutely, 62-62. They played overtime. Scott, you need a little help there. And certainly, we've seen overtime periods with 12 or less points. Not yesterday, as they put up 22 in overtime. Game landed 146. You're over by 9.5, and you can call the cops.
Definitely not a fun time to be an underbetter in overtime.
Nope, not at all. And, well, you know what? There was some good news out there, so let's find out who was cashing those tickets early and often as you found yourself with those nice, sweet, easy bets. Because why? You were sitting in the rocking chair.
So, the first one, I talked about it earlier, but if you had Virginia plus 11 against Duke, they never trailed by more than 3 points in the entire game, and Virginia had a very nice go-ahead 3-point shot with about a second to go, and Virginia went outright by 1 point.
There's another game that you and I talked about. We both liked Greensboro. Here, Greensboro minus 5 against Western Carolina, led by 17 at halftime. Played with their food a little bit in the second half, but still stretched it out a little bit. Ended up winning by 19. Congratulations if you faded Western Carolina because you were sitting in the rocking chair.
And sticking in the same conference, if you had East Tennessee State +6 against Furman, led by 13 at the half, and they won outright by 4.
Yep. Upset galore. Upsets in that one for sure. So
that whole conference is just full of upsets night in, night out. So keep an eye on the CAA if you want to go for some potential dogs to throw in a parlay.
Yep. We've made some CAA plays here lately, and they've worked out well for us. So, all right, very fine. Well, let's check in and see what everybody's talking about here. Oh, we got more spam, man. Mm-hmm. Hey, Jones,
flattered and offended at the same time.
What's up, Joan? Nathan Cerna said, "Nice call on Texas. I was wrong. Thought it was Kansas. Easily could have been. Tough game." Zach said he teased the Suns down to 3.5. Oh, call the cops and then call the emergency room to go have the
FBI.
Yeah. I had Prairie View money line last night, 16 points scored in the second half lead, missed 3/4 of the game, three or four game winning field goals to lose by 1 on a 3-point buzzer beater. Oh man, brutal, Zodwick, brutal. Was anybody else knifed in the chest last night by the Suns? Did you play that game personally, Scott?
I did not. The only action that I have on the Suns is really 2 things. I have Monty Williams to win Coach of the Year at about 5-1, and he's now -120. I even saw -150 in some spots online. And I also have the Suns to win the West. And that was the last pick of a parlay that I have. So a lot of action on the Suns, but not night in, night out.
If you get them at 5-1.
The Suns, yeah, around there. But it was the last pick of a parlay, so it's really like 50-1. I got some pretty solid odds right now.
That's the Doors song, Scott. 5-1, baby. 1-5. No one here gets out alive. You know that song?
I've heard it.
Yeah, there you go. Not bad. It's Magellan Sports says, how about those Dukies? They lived up to their name of Dookie last night, man. Not good at all. T-Train said, what I missed, my little man had to pee. You missed because some call the cops, and you missed.
We have a new intro. That's really all there is to it.
You missed our new intro, yeah. So Jones says, you guys own the farm. Well, you know what? We've been running good lately, and I tell you, I don't think I told you yesterday that because somebody questioned our 68%, and I'd said at the time that I was figuring the numbers, I was doing it backwards, and like that was right in the middle of our hot streak. So we have dropped off a little bit. We are currently, what did I say we were, Scott? We're 50
you said 58%.
We're 50 and 37, and I think we're probably, with last night's win, we're probably closer to about 58.5% or something like that. So yeah,
still pretty good.
Not too bad. We'll take it. We'll take it all day long. The Doors. That's right, James. Exactly right, man. Like the Suns tonight. I don't know, man. Do you trust them?
It's really tough not to trust them because they're the most consistent team in the league. I agree. I think that upside wise, they're definitely not the best team, but I would make the case they are the best team in the league because they are so consistent, and because back to back or not, this team just goes out and smacks people. Now, of course, Philly has Embiid, and that's going to be a matchup problem for anybody. Ayton is a big body, so there is a chance that maybe he could somewhat limit Embiid. I kind of doubt it. But Phoenix has multiple big men that they could rotate in, so they can kind of eat up fouls, worst case scenario. Do you want to lay points with Philly? Because I don't.
You know, I've had pretty good luck in the past picking my spots with Philly, but they burned me. They burned me against Washington. I kind of flew too close to the sun, and they jumped up and bit me there against the Wizards, trying to cover a big number. My only problem with Phoenix, and somebody pointed out in the comments section, it's the third game in 4 days playing a back-to-back.
It's not a great spot.
Chicago to Philadelphia. It is. For me, it's a pass.
I think it's a pass too, but I definitely am not going to jump on Philly and say I got to fade the best team in the league.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Somebody asked me about Milwaukee and the Lakers. Milwaukee laying 3.5 on the road to LA.
I don't know how you just don't like the Bucks here. I know that the Lakers are in the crypto.com center. So, the home court should matter, kinda. I mean, they needed overtime to beat the Knicks. They trailed by 20-plus points against the Knicks. Meanwhile, Milwaukee, I know they played Portland, and that's not a real basketball team right now.
Nope.
But Milwaukee's finally been waking up. They're walking into 130 almost every night. We know the Lakers can't really guard anybody. We know that Giannis is a matchup problem, and we can make an argument that his production and LeBron's should potentially cancel out. I'm going Milwaukee because they're just in much better form. Am I supposed to be impressed that the Lakers needed overtime with LeBron back in the lineup to beat the Knicks? I mean, the Knicks stink.
Yep.
What do you think?
You look at two teams that just played nobody the last 3 games, and they've got the Lakers have won 2 out of 3. They've covered 3 straight. Washington,
the Knicks cover was BS. I mean, that was just an overtime cover, whatever. But yes, technically.
All right. I gotta be Milwaukee. Milwaukee or pass there for sure. Brad Crawford says call the entire police department on the Phoenix. And said the fix was on. 17-2 run by the Bulls. And he said I lost. Fuck the Suns tonight. The Suns are dead to me right now, says Brad Crawford.
That team is so good. I'll tell you who is dead to me, though, the Warriors. Warriors are just completely dead to me. Not because I don't have money on them for the future, but they did not do well enough against the Thunder last night. That was the final pick I had in a pretty decent parlay. I've been one short on a couple of these the last couple of days, which have been annoying for some pretty decent payouts. But they let the Thunder hang around. And the Golden State's a team that wins games. They just don't win by enough margin for me.
If you want to gamble a little bit, they're both probable. I think AD and LeBron are both probable.
They're both going to play.
Yeah, I thought they were moved to questionable, but somebody asked about Brook Lopez. Back problem. I don't know what the fuck that means. Him and
mid-season surgery, and it doesn't seem like he's going to come back anytime soon.
Him and Michael Porter with the back problem.
Yeah,
and of course Joel Embiid sat out his entire year at Kansas because of back problems, and he's had every other injury, but his back seems to be been okay. So
yeah,
Arkansas tonight.
I think that game's very, very tricky.
I was looking at that game.
I had Arkansas as my play today on Saturday, and they ended up covering against Mississippi State. I can't say they looked good in the game. They covered. They didn't really look great. I know Auburn looked awful against Georgia. They ended up winning the game, but they almost lost to a team with a losing record. But Auburn was missing a starting point guard for that game. I would check his status. I believe he's still being listed as questionable. Have you seen anything?
About Jasper?
Yeah.
Still,
I still see questionable
with an illness. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he's going to be the key because Auburn's offense looked all out of whack without its starting point guard. But if he does not play, I think Arkansas wins the game. If he does play, I think this game could get ugly.
Yeah, this is an Arkansas team they've got the talent, but they're just kind of a little bit inconsistent. But they've been absolute studs at home, Scott.
It's really tough to go against the Razorbacks at Bud Walton. It's really tough.
Yeah, it is. Vandy snuck out a win early in the season, but other than that, I mean, this is the same team. You talk about Mizzou. The Mizzou game against UMKC is one you have to look at, but this is the other game you have to look at if you ever want to get too excited about Missouri, as they put up 29 against the Hogs down there in Fayetteville. So, yeah, not good. But again, they've had pretty much a parade of never-wers run through Bud Walton there with I don't even know who their best. The best team they played was Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt beat them by a point.
They beat Mississippi State. I don't know. Mississippi State's better than Vandy, but I think they're comparable.
Okay. Yeah, I give you that. I'd probably take Vandy, but yeah, they're comparable. All right, I'll take the home team. When in doubt, take the home team.
I'm with you. I'm still not sure Jasper's going to play, but Auburn's been kind of playing with fire on the road, which isn't that surprising because we know how valuable the home court is in college basketball, especially in the SEC, where you have pretty, let's say, passionate fan bases. They beat Alabama, nice win there on the road. They barely beat Missouri, and we know Missouri is not very good. and they barely beat Georgia. So I do think that Auburn, despite being the number 1 team in the country, according to the AP poll, is kind of living dangerously. And Arkansas at home is a team that I don't exactly want to be fading when they're getting 4 points.
Nope. And they go, if you'll excuse the expression, hog wild down there in Arkansas for their sports.
They do.
Those people get lit the fuck up. So I was down there for the red and white game during the College World Series, and it was
nice.
It was something, man. It was absolutely something. Bryce Multane wants to know about Wyoming against Utah State tonight. I love them against Utah State. I'm not sure.
Everybody loves Wyoming tonight just because of how good Wyoming's been. They've beaten really the gauntlet. I mean, they beat Colorado State, they beat Boise, they beat San Diego State. They've beaten the main guys in the main teams in the conference.
Yep, they won at Fresno as a dog. Yep.
Yeah, Utah State's been playing really well lately. I will acknowledge that. So good for them for getting their season back on track. But can I really go against Wyoming, especially at home? I don't think I can.
Nope, it's a short number. The only impressive win there for Utah State was against San Diego State. Putting up 75 on the Aztecs, you're fucking flat bringing it there because that team plays some defense. But other than that, they ran through UNLV, San Jose State, Air Force, and Nevada. None of those teams impressed me. So I've got to.
That Nevada team is underratedly bad.
Yeah, they're awful. They're although they jumped up and bit me the other night against San Diego State. And I know a lot of my commenters watch my video had him as well. Loved him in that spot. Loved San Diego State. Loved to fade Nevada on the road, and none of it worked out. But
San Diego State just can't score.
That's the problem is they're going to limit you offensive or defensively, but they're not going to be able to put as many points on the board. They're remarkably like their football team. It's really funny how they're almost a mirror image of their football game. Could it be a trap game for Wyoming?
I definitely think the line suggests it could be, especially after you beat that three-headed monster. Now you have a game against Utah State,
right,
which is an underrated team. There is a chance Wyoming could just be a little bit fat and happy.
Yeah.
I think it'll be close, but I'll go with Wyoming. Preston, I do acknowledge that BYU was also undefeated at home when they lost to San Francisco, but BYU was in the middle of an implosion. Like, they were in terrible form. So form does matter. Wyoming's just been playing great basketball.
Yep. I like them. I like them. I like them in this spot. And they're, that is the thing you have to guard against because they just ran through Boise State twice, Colorado State, and Fresno.
There's a gauntlet.
Now they've got what?
There's a gauntlet.
Yeah, and now they've got kind of a dip in the schedule. They got Utah State, San Jose State, New Mexico, and Air Force. So, yeah, there could be a little lack of focus, but I think this is a team, especially at home. I think it's a little easier to get your focus back with the crowd behind you. I've got it with a short number like that. I've got to take Wyoming. Yeah,
I think this would be the last game that Wyoming might be fully focused for. I might consider fading them down the stretch, just because you mentioned all the bad teams they're playing. It does seem like some serious letdown spots on the horizon. But with a home game against Utah State, which has played better lately, I don't think they're going to overlook them. I think they'll overlook the other teams in the final couple games of the season.
Like I said, I did a play on today on USC minus 19.5. It is down to 19 now in some spots. What's your feelings on that, Scott, against the Pacific Tigers?
Pacific sucks. They've been playing better lately, but they really kind of had to be playing better because they couldn't play any worse. But I like the under in that game. I can't say I'm fully interested in laying points with USC just because I've seen that team play with their food time and time again. Pacific is 0-9 on the road, straight up and ATS, so I understand the angle behind that. I just like the under because USC is an offensively, I'd say, inconsistent team where they have some solid talent. They just don't always piece it together for a full 40. I don't really want to lay 19 with a team that doesn't really play a full 40 minutes, but I do like the under because defensively USC is very good, and I'm not sure Pacific even gets to 55 in this spot. So I'm going with the under.
Okay, good enough. Yeah, it's just too good of numbers on Pacific to pass up even against.
Of course, 0-9 ATS on the road.
That's what I'm saying.
I get it. It's just USC. I have a hard time laying that big of a spread when they're such an atrocious free throw shooting team.
Right.
So I'll go with the under instead.
Preston Burke talking about Wyoming, a tough place to play. Yeah, Laramie is I believe that's the highest elevation of any D1 school if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it is. I think it's slightly above like Colorado State, Boulder, etc.
Jennifer wants to know if we and I'm gonna try the last name. I'm just Jennifer Luz. Okay, sure. Jennifer, tell me how close I am. Correlated parlays, yes, we're big fans. These in particular, Celtics money line and the under. Scott, you like the under there? I know you like Celtics on the money line.
I got the Celtics in my play today. I got that at 6, and now it's up to 8.5. Harden's not playing. I'm not taking the over because I'm not sure how many points the Nets are going to score.
Right.
The issue that you run into is, do you want to take an under with the Nets?
Yep.
So I feel like if you want to go for that game, you go with the team total.
Team total under.
I really think the Celtics are going to win that game by 30. I mean, you're just looking at the actual lineups for both teams here. The Nets projected lineup, because Claxton is out, Aldridge is out, etc. Patty Mills, DeAndre Bembry, Kessler Edwards, James Johnson, and Blake Griffin. If that team or that lineup was starting for an entire 82-game season, do they win 12 games?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Do they get to?
I don't think so. Boston, on the other hand, fully healthy. You're looking at Tatum, Brown, Williams, Schroeder off the bench.
Look at you.
They got a solid team. I mean, they've been playing better lately. The record would be so much better if they didn't choke away a bunch of fourth quarter leads to start the year. But the Nets have been in free fall. And with Harden, Kyrie, and KD out, and you know the supporting cast stinks, how is Brooklyn supposed to keep this game close unless Mills goes for 30?
Yep, that's it. Golden Knights money line in the under. Playing at Edmonton.
I don't know if I want to take an under with Edmonton.
Yeah, that's really I don't love that. I don't mind the Knights on the money line there. I don't love the
I don't mind the Knights on the money line either, but when you go with an under with those two offenses and Edmonton's defense, which has been so inconsistent but mostly bad this year,
you're holding your breath, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to go for an under on that one.
Dallas money line, yes, and the under. Wrenching that up to 212, and that has been in the past a really good number for Dallas to go under.
I mean, it really depends. The question you have to ask is, do you think the Pistons get to, what do you think, 102?
I was going to say 100, but yeah, that's
give or take. I mean, that's the question you're asking yourself.
Yep, because they put up 93 against Boston, which is only I'm looking in their past games. That's really the only game you have a comparable defense. New Orleans 101, Minnesota 105. Those are not impressive performances at all. Yeah, I'll play that. I'll play the under. I don't want any part of an over. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
And UNC money line, because I want to talk about that UNC game anyway.
I like Clemson.
Like Clemson there laying the points. It looks suspicious, doesn't it?
It does. And North Carolina has not been a good road team. They're off the embarrassing loss against Duke, so you might argue they're in line for a bounce back. Clemson's a pretty good home team. I just don't trust North Carolina on the road. And you talk about the height advantage and everything like that, but
that's what I would talk about.
Some teams are just atrocious on the road for whatever reason. North Carolina's one of them. I'm going with Clemson. That line seems like it's just baiting you to take North Carolina.
It does. I agree, and I'm gonna fall for it. I'm gonna fade you here, buddy. I'm gonna take North Carolina. I just think they dominate on the boards. I think they give up no second chance points to Clemson at all. Clemson is a very good perimeter shooting team. 6 of their top 7 shooters shoot 35% or better from distance. So North Carolina is going to have to be able to stretch that perimeter and guard on the outside, or it's going to be a tough fucking night. So I saw somebody else was asking about something. What did I miss, Scott?
I saw somebody asking about UCLA.
UCLA.
They're playing Stanford on the road.
In Kentucky as well.
Yeah. I'll start off with the UCLA game. They're laying 7.5 against Stanford. Long story short, I'm going to go with Stanford because I think the Stanford team's underrated. Are they good? Kind of. I can't say that they're a very good team, but at home, they've been pretty solid. And UCLA, they're a team that is offensively kind of like USC, inconsistent. So I don't exactly want to lay 7.5 on the road with a team that sometimes is issue scoring. So I'm going to go with Stanford. I feel like 7.5 is a little bit too much.
Well, this is a Stanford team that lost by 23 the last time they played. Of course, they were on the road then, but they've been playing. Yeah, I don't know,
They're
Scott.
competitive in most of these games.
I mean, it seems like every time they play a team with a pulse, they don't do well. The one exception would be beating USC outright as a dog, but everybody else,
Twice.
they got whomped by UCLA. They got whomped by Arizona. They've beaten up on Washington State, beat Washington State, which is a decent team, good defense. I don't know, but
I'm not going to have any action on it personally, but do you want to lay 7.5 with UCLA on the road? I don't.
No, UCLA's covered just one time in 4 conference shots on the road, so I don't want to get involved there with the.
I think it's Stanford or pass, but I'm not going to have a play on it.
Okay, fair enough. Grizzlies blow out the Clippers tonight.
I think blowout's a stretch, but I think they'll win the game. Let me see what the actual spread is on that one. It's about 8. I don't know. The Clippers have been a randomly competitive team.
Yep.
They're 1 game under, but you look at the starting lineup and you'd argue they would need 2 years to win 27 games. So props to Ty Lue. He's done a great job with that team, but I mean, Memphis is just so talented. I feel like Memphis should win by double digits, but would it shock me if it's a 7-point game in the fourth quarter at some point? No. The Clippers are just randomly a tough team, but I think Memphis eventually does enough to win by 10.
Good enough. Somebody wants to know if we make degenerate bets during the daytime as we're waiting for the night action. I know you do because you have opportunities to bet tennis and shit like that.
I do. Did not work out for me today. I was actually betting some game wagering for tennis. I was trying to predict some breaks because it is clay court season. A lot of nice plus prices, plus 190, plus 240, plus even 340. Did not work out for me today. I took a beating. I had a couple of really close opportunities. I believe in break point chances for guys that I had, they might have gone a combined like 2 for 10. It was really just a mess. Couple of huge swings potentially. I had a plus 340 with 2 break point chances, and he blew both of them.
Right.
That hurt. I was up above 40 in 2 separate matches. That guy blew the break. Yeah, that was my degen action of the afternoon. Didn't go too well.
Somebody asking about Indiana State and Evansville. Holy shit, this is a bad Purple Aces team. They cannot score for anything. Put up 41 at home against Bradley last time out. That's all-star bad right there, sir.
The way that I look at it, the only analysis I would do would be to convince me not to take Indiana State. There's a 0% chance I'm taking Evansville in any given game.
Right. Yep. Absolutely true. Indiana State, they've shown a little bit of ability to play some decent teams close. They kept it in 8 against Loyola, beat Missouri State at home, which is as a 5-point dog. That's impressive. I don't love them. Obviously they're not a great team. They've covered just 1 time out of their last 7 games, but I'm not getting anywhere near Evansville. Evansville can't fucking score. So
yeah.
Portland, San Francisco. Portland getting 18. Blindly without looking about it, I like Portland there. Let me take a look.
The San Francisco team is very good, but that's a pretty big spread for you to cover against the Portland team that is 11-12 straight up. Not great, but 14-8 ATS, and they're 9-2 ATS on the road.
Yeah, I got them. So, yeah, I got them 8-2 ATS on the road. But yeah, either way, that's they're 9-3 as a dog. 5-1 revenging a home loss. You factor in revenge at all, Scott? Does that matter to you?
I think revenge is tricky, just because of the fact that it's not like you really need extra motivation to beat a conference opponent,
right?
In most cases, but San Francisco, they're very good at home record-wise. They're 13-2. However, they're 5-9 ATS, so they win home games they don't cover. So I think San Francisco will win. I think that it'll be close to the number, but I see San Francisco winning by 15.
Yeah, I think that's about right. 12-15 is where I have this one. Jennifer wants to know Ohio Toledo. Well, she might find out here in a little while. We might have that one. We talked about Auburn, Arkansas. You and I were on the Hogs.
I have a hard time going against Arkansas when Auburn might be missing a starting point guard.
Yep, it's going to be a game time for me. And Marquette and UConn is the game we haven't talked about yet.
That Marquette team is feisty, man.
They are. It's another game where you're going to have to factor in how much the rebounding advantage is going to play into this game, because UConn is definitely going to be able to control the boards. I don't know, man.
I'm actually going to lean to the points.
You're going to take the points?
Of course, this line looks very trappy, just because UConn is laying 6 against a ranked opponent.
Yeah.
But this Marquette team they're competitive. I mean, they find ways to keep games close. Shaka Smart is very solid, just organizing unique defenses that can pressure opposing guards, that can force a bunch of mistakes. I think Marquette hangs around. Once again, not a game I'm going to have action on.
Yep.
But I don't exactly want to lay 6. This game, for me, seems like a final possession game.
I'm okay with it. I think UConn has a 4 or 5 point lead, and they get there with scramble points.
But we're on the same page. I just think they don't.
This Marquette team just can't rebound the ball. I think UConn just controls the boards. I think it's going to be too much. Okay. Scott, here's a question for you. Burnley over Man U plus 400. Any shot?
Burnley's so bad. Oh boy, Man U, of course, off the embarrassing loss in the FA Cup. Now they're going back to the Prem. The game already started. Man U's up 1-0. So I'm not going to take a live play on Burnley. I don't think Burnley's going to score. It's already 1-0, but I see a 2-3-0 final.
Okay. All right. Good enough. Anything out there we're missing?
I think we covered most of it.
I do. I was just kind of making sure.
NBA, perhaps, if you want to go through. I mean, there were 2 trades that we haven't really talked about.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's. Do we have a total on the Arkansas Auburn game? We didn't really talk about that.
I had 151.5.
Seems like a lot.
It does. I know the pace is going to be there for both teams, which is why the over is tempting. But I watched Arkansas play offense against Mississippi State, and they looked god awful. I know it was one game, but oh boy. I think I'm going to barely lean to an over, solely because of pace. I see both teams getting into the mid to high 70s. So I'm looking at a 78-75 type of game. So a slight lean to the over, but it's going to be very close.
I think one of them shits the bed offensively.
It could be.
I'll lean the other way with the under. Ball State?
Oh, they're off a nice win against Toledo over the weekend. So
yeah, they are.
Now they're facing off against Central Michigan. We know that the Chippewas are awful.
I
got to be tempted by Ball State. I mean, they're a home juggernaut. They're 8-2 straight up. They're 8-1 ATS. They smacked Toledo in the last game, and Toledo might be the best team in the conference. I think it's Ball State or pass, and I got to feel pretty strong about Ball State, don't I?
10.5 is so many, though.
It's a lot, but Central Michigan's atrocious.
Yeah, they are dreadful. Let me see how what they've done against double-digit numbers. Covered 1-1, 1-2 against with catching double-digit numbers. Yeah. No, I'm gonna. Can I just play?
I watched Ball State shoot the lights out against Toledo. I'm biased.
Yeah. I put up 93 against Toledo. That's damn impressive right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with you. Ball State or pass. Kim liked the trumpet, then looked at me and laughed her ass off. Fair enough, Tony. Chips are shit on the road. Yeah, they're not ideal at home either. But yeah. So Scott, I think everybody but me is on Marquette tonight. So you'll be happy to know that.
I don't know if that's good or bad. You make good points about the rebounding. I just think that Marquette is constantly disrespected, and they keep cashing tickets.
You're right. They've been absolute studs there, and you look up and you're like, how the fuck did Marquette won another one? Yep, there you go. Boston minus 8.5 tonight. Yes, yes.
I got them at 6, but I'm looking at the game, and I'm not sure how the Nets keep it close. They don't guard anybody. The offense is Patty Mills and nobody else tonight, besides maybe a little bit of Thomas off the bench.
Right.
Because he can shoot a bit, but I mean, you got Tatum, you got Brown, Williams is an elite rim protector, you got Schroeder off the bench, you got Marcus Smart playing well, and Boston's an elite defense. I don't know if the Nets are going to get to 95. They might not get to 95.
Fair enough. All right, so let's talk about the trades there a little bit. Oh, Michigan and Penn State, Scott.
Oh boy,
you're right. You're right. T-Train boards have not translated to points, and I do worry about that. No question.
It's a game that Michigan needs to have, but they've needed to win about 5 games previously, and that has not gone well. I'm going Penn State. Both teams are bad, but Penn State at home's okay. And it's a Big Ten team on the road getting points. I mean, it's a Big Ten team at home getting points. That's good enough for me.
That line seems so trappy to me. At just 1, that makes me want to gobble up Penn State for sure.
Anytime you're going with a Big Ten matchup, I blindly look at least at the home team to start.
Yep.
And try to make a case against the home team. Michigan's just not very good. You know, they're just not.
No, this is a Penn State team that
they're not good either, but they try at home.
Well, they're coming off that triple overtime win against Iowa.
I think that was a couple games ago. They almost beat Wisconsin over the weekend.
Yeah, almost beat Wisconsin. They lost by 2 to Wisconsin over the weekend. Michigan kept it close against Purdue, but
congratulations, they barely beat Nebraska at home.
Yeah, this is a team that lost by 16 to Michigan State, lost by 15 to Illinois, all on the road, lost by 8 to Rutgers, one of the worst Big Ten losses of the year for a team that takes itself seriously. So I'm with you. I'm Penn State here. Wisconsin, Michigan State, Scott. Last one.
I mean, I saw Michigan State smack the crap out of this team in the Kohl Center. Main reason on the glass, Michigan State dominated. I think the line's too low. I like Michigan State. And of course, you know, as a joke, it's a running joke, I'm fading Wisconsin, but after Michigan State blew them out on the road earlier this season, how am I not supposed to like Michigan State here? They're going to dominate on the glass again.
Yeah, I think teams are starting to figure out Johnny Davis. Would you agree with that, Scott?
Well, offensively, he's been awful shooting lately.
Right.
Very good on the boards.
Yeah,
but
still good defensively.
Yeah, but you're looking at Wisconsin. They don't have many other guys. And when you're going to get killed on the glass by 10 minimum, I think, which is a safe assumption, I'm not sure how Wisconsin's going to score enough points. They barely scored enough to beat Penn State. Michigan State, we know, has a lot of depth. I can't say that they're an extremely talented team.
Shoot well.
They got a lot of pretty good pieces, you know. I think they're good enough. But I saw them smack Wisconsin earlier, and I feel like the formula is going to stay the same. And unless Davis goes nuts, I don't know how they're supposed to score enough to keep this game competitive.
Michigan State, man, they've got some gunners from the outside. Hall and Walker both shoot better than 53% from downtown.
Even Hauser's not bad.
Hall shoots 63% at home from beyond the arc. So
I like Hall. I think he's good.
Yeah, agreed. So Scott, let's talk about this. The latest NBA trade to come over the transom was Halliburton to Indy for Sabonis. Just to be exact, traders are the Pacers are trading Sabonis, Lamb, Holiday in a 2027 second round pick, getting Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson. What are we doing here, Scott?
Do you want me to grade the trade for both teams?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that would be that'd be the way I would look at it. Yeah.
All right. I give the Kings I'll give them a D.
Yeah.
I give the Kings an A. I think the Kings did a great job.
Wait. You said
no, sorry. I'll give the Pacers an A. Sorry.
Okay.
I give the Pacers an A, and I'll give the Kings a D. And the main reason why is I don't know what the hell the Kings are doing. Your idea for the future was to potentially rebuild and to trade De'Aaron Fox. That was your move.
Right.
You've been rumored to trade Fox and Hield for the last 3 years.
Well, and somehow they've been trying to ship Bagley since
Bagley too.
The mid 2000s, it seems like.
And yet you somehow kept Fox and you kept Bagley. You got Sabonis. I like Sabonis. I think he's a great player. But I don't know what your team is trying to do. Are you rebuilding Are you half trying to contend? Your team is basically stuck in purgatory, and you just traded away a very, very promising young Garden Halliburton and Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
So your team could be what? The 11 seed instead of the 13 seed? I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's two teams that I don't think are going to the playoffs.
The Pacers move I like, because I do think that even though this team is not very good, the Pacers had to blow it up, and they already traded LeVert. Sabonis was going to get shipped off. And I really like Halliburton. I think Halliburton's a very good player. So I'm actually going to give Indiana an A, because I do think they got a couple of nice pieces for the future for a team that's already clearly trying to rebuild. Sacramento's got 1 foot out the door for rebuilding and 1 foot for being competitive. I don't know the direction of the franchise.
Yep, agreed. And speaking of a franchise that seems to be blowing it up, it's the other big trade, which is McCollum to New Orleans. I don't know what is New Orleans doing here, Scott. I thought they were going to build from the bottom up with their youngsters.
This is a trade where I feel like both teams lose, because Portland gets a bunch of cap space. Good for them. Now you can either A, potentially try to acquire talent around Lillard, or the most likely outcome, you're trading Lillard in a couple of months and you're starting over from the basement, which I think is the more likely outcome, but you can make an argument that Lillard might stick around. We'll see.
Right.
But you didn't get much back in return. You got Josh Hart and some draft capital, I guess. You really didn't get much.
Sudorinsky and Alexander Walker and Luzada, like a lot of guys from way down the fucking bench there.
Yeah, congratulations. But you're looking at New Orleans, and I have no idea what they're doing, because this team right now is in the play-in tournament, technically. I believe they're the last team in. And we know Zion is probably not going to come back this season. Or if he does, I'll just say I would be very surprised.
Right.
Because of how many setbacks he's had, how out of shape he looked when he actually showed up at the games. I don't think it's likely for him to play. They've been winning some games anyway, so you can make an argument that New Orleans is going to make a push. A push for what? The 8th seed?
Yeah.
Like I don't know what you're doing. Is your argument that next year you want a big 3 with Ingram, McCollum, and Zion? Like, what does that get you?
Yep. Agreed.
A 7 seed? Like a 6? I just don't understand what the team is doing. Now, they didn't give up as many first-round picks as I thought they were going to give up, which I guess is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
But New Orleans, I figured after the awful start, would blow it up, because you can get a good draft pick, start young, and figure something out. But now they're trying to be competitive at the last minute.
Yep.
And a big 3 of Zion, Ingram, and McCollum, speaking for next year, what does that make your defense? Bottom 4 in the league?
Yeah.
Bottom 5?
Yep. Agreed.
I mean, your only good defensive player left is Herbert Jones. That's it. Like, nobody else in your team can guard anybody. So I'm not a fan of the trade for either team, because cap space is fun unless you can't sign anybody.
Yeah.
What kind of great player wants to go to Portland?
Well, and I'll tell you what, though, they're definitely limited by the fact that they've got to give McCollum a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
If they, and you know, he's due 33 million next year, Scott, and 35 the year after that.
Now the cap keeps going up, so truth is, I don't know, comparatively speaking, where that ranks. I know most players who are elite are making mid to high 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So McCollum's a guy who I think is pretty good. He's injured all the time. But I guess New Orleans thinks that if Zion stays healthy, they can compete for something. I think they're out of their mind.
Yep, agreed.
But we'll see.
All right, let's get to it, buddy. It's time. It's time, man. It's the Tuesday edition. Time to put on your overalls, strap on that straw hat, climb aboard your John Deere, get your keys out with a lucky rabbit foot, and fire that bad boy up, because, Scott, it's Tuesday. Time to bet the farm. All right, very good, Scott. I know we did have a bet the farm play yesterday. How did that end up going?
We ended up having the under in the Temple, South Florida game, and it went well under the posted total.
Yeehaw! It landed 102, 104?
Something like that. I'm pretty sure they had like 44 points in the first half.
42. I think it was 22-20 at the end of the first half, if I'm not mistaken.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. A nice, easy rocking chair win for the Bet the Farm play. So, with that being said, what have you done for me lately, Scott? That's pretty much the question. And tonight, somebody asked about it earlier. We're going to be looking at the we're going to be looking at the Toledo game. What, did I not load that up? What is that stuff? Hang on.
You put on the wrong sheet. I see it.
Oh, I didn't transfer it. Okay. Well, you guys are just gonna have to follow along. I wrote it down on our script. I didn't put it on this slide. So it's going to be Toledo -3 over the Ohio Bobcats. Everybody, Toledo been outstanding in MAC play. They stumbled the last time out against Ball State, as we mentioned earlier, but before that, they had won and covered 9 straight in conference competition, and they are outscoring their opponents in the MAC by an average of 13.3 points per game. These teams played about 2 weeks ago. They played on the 21st of January. That was a home game for the Bobcats, and the Rockets took it to them, and they won 87-69. I think this number seems a little bit short based on the performances. I know Ohio is a very good shooting team, but I like this Toledo defense. I think they get the job done. And Toledo can absolutely knock it down from the line if it gets into a free throw shooting contest. I like the Rockets' chances. All 5 starters average 75% or better from the charity stripe. We're going to play Toledo in the MAC tonight, minus the 3 points, and that's going to be it for our Bet the Farm play. That's going to be it for the show. So, as always, we thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget, check out all of the great deals we have with our partners. I get so excited doing the show, Scott. I always forget to do the ad read, so apologies to everybody at the in the upstairs offices there. Do check out our partners with our great deals that we got going on with Caesars and with the BetRivers down there in Louisiana, and of course with BetMGM as well. All the information and links are in the show notes. Don't forget to check us out as it's we're going to fire up Super Bowl week. Get started for real tomorrow, Scott. We're going to do our Super Bowl prop show right after our regular show. We're going to do our Super Bowl preview on Friday right after the regular show, and then of course our special crossover broadcast with all the boys from Just Parlays, guests galore. We're going to be doing the little pregame 12 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday before the Super Bowl. So, big week for us. We're excited. Hope you guys are excited too. Again, thanks for being here. Wish you best of luck on all of your plays today. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money when you head back to the window. You guys have a fantastic day, and we'll see you tomorrow once again, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, as Scott and I will do our very best to help you in your journey as we all attempt to head back to the window. You guys have a great day. See you tomorrow.